I remember when I first started to get into the business of design and how I had to find all these different tools to be able to do my work. Some of the tools were way too expensive at the moment and others were just not available in my region. So I had to go and look for tools that I was able to use to be able to do all the work, all the designs and all the websites. What's going on, guys? My name is Leopoldo Perella, and I do videos about web design, UX design and the overall design process. On today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about all the different tools or alternatives that you can find to be able to run your design business. We're going to be talking about tools to operate or manage your business, as well as the alternatives that you can use to design logos, brands, websites, you name it. If you're interested, stay tuned. One of the first things that you need to do, even if you're not just a designer, let's say you're a developer, you need to keep documents. You need to be able to share documents with your clients. You might even need to create a PowerPoint presentation to be able to share it with someone. But nowadays, even something like Microsoft Office requires you to either sign up for a membership or have an account maybe with the school you went to or something like that. So now if you're starting a design business, this will be something that you may need to purchase. But why purchase it when you actually have so many great alternatives? And I'm not saying don't buy Microsoft, I'm saying if you can use these other tools, go ahead and use them. So one of the first one is Google Drive, and I have been using Google Drive pretty much to do everything. And the reason for it though is that it gives me a free Excel, it gives me free Microsoft Office pretty much, and also the PowerPoint version of what they have. And one of the greatest things about this is I'm able to share it with my clients with just a simple click or with someone else who may be working with me. Another great tool that you can use if you do not have Google Drive is something called, I believe it's called LibreOffice, and this is something that I had used in the past when I used to use Linux as my operating system. And remember, not everyone is using Windows or Mac. You also have Linux, which is also one of those favorite operating systems that developers might have. And back, I would say about 7-8 years ago, that's what I used to use when I started to run the business, mainly because it's a light operating system, so I was able to use the software to design a lot better. So if you're going to need something like, let's say, Excel sheets to be able to keep track of your expenses or anything that's happening in your business, these two are amazing options for you. The next one I want to talk about is Photoshop. And I know you might be thinking, you have to do a lot with Photoshop, like editing photos for the websites. Maybe you do need to create some mockup for the brand's layout that you need to create, or maybe you do need to touch up some images so that they can align with the brand. And most of the time you will know, well, I need Photoshop, or you will think I need Photoshop to be able to do this. And that's true, because Photoshop is one of the greatest tools out there. But you also have something that's just like Photoshop, and it's called GIMP. And GIMP is pretty much a free version of Photoshop that allows you to do everything that you can do on Photoshop. It might take a little bit of time for you to get used to it, but at the end of the day, once you're able to get used to all the tools, shortcuts, and different elements that GIMP brings to you, you will be able to achieve the exact same thing that you are doing in Photoshop. But then let's say you have to build an actual logo, right? And as you know, Photoshop is not a vector software, or a software to create vectors. Is a photo manipulation software. So what can you use something like Adobe Illustrator, because you are going to be able to need to create logos, to create vectors that are sharp, that are not pixelated, and that you are able to export and send to probably a printer and whatnot. And this is where another option comes in, and it's called Inkscape. And Inkscape pretty much allows you to do the same thing, just like how GIMP allows you to do the same thing as Photoshop. Inkscape actually allows you to do the exact same thing as Adobe Illustrator. And what's more important about it is that it also allows you to be able to save documents, export documents, and do all the different file types that you are going to be able to need to send to a printer or to send to another designer. and once again it's completely free. You can just go to the website, download it, and start to use it. The next one is like, let's say we are designing a website, and normally for me I use Adobe XD, which comes with Adobe. Once you get the Adobe collection, most likely you're able to get it free, but I do know that there are two things that happen with Adobe. One is that not every region can use it, and two is that some people may want to use Adobe XD, but they may not want to pay for the whole Adobe collection. Now I do believe that you can use Adobe XD free. I'm not sure if it's only for Macs, but this is where Figma can come in to play. So Figma is also completely free for most of it. If you need to create more than, I think it's like 3 projects, then you do have to pay for a membership. But for just one project at a time, which if you now start, and that's most likely how it will be, you're able to use Figma to design your entire web experience, social media posts, pretty much anything that is like vector related. You're going to be able to do it with Figma. I wouldn't suggest to try to design logos or business cards or anything like that with Figma, because it's more about it's about a software about creating web experiences and app experiences more than, or the interface for it, more than like designing a logo. But it will be very helpful for you to have Figma to be able to create all your designs for the web. Now, the other thing that we want to do as, starting a new or getting into the business of design is to start creating content like this. And I know that most of the time when you go on YouTube, like even for myself, you will see me using something like Premiere Pro, which is a great software to do videos and to get them ready for YouTube, for Facebook, whatever you're posting. But there's also a free alternative to this, and it's called Lightworks, and it pretty much does the exact same thing that Premiere Pro will do, and is also free. And you can use it in Linux if that's what you're using as your operating system. You can use it on Windows or even on Mac. So I hope you found these tools to be helpful for you, and like I know that you probably were looking for some alternatives, as I did when I was now getting started in the business. So being able to know that you don't have to put hundreds of dollars at first to be able to get your business moving is really important. And also what's most important about this whole thing is that you do not have to wait for the right tools to get started. You do not have to wait for to be able to afford the Adobe Photoshop or the Adobe Collection membership to be able to get your business moving. You always have alternatives that you can start using right away to get clients to start doing the work that needs to be seen so you can get higher. So I hope you found this content helpful. Make sure to hit the bell button and the subscribe button so that you can get more content like this on your YouTube anytime you log in. And make sure to hit the like button or the thumbs up so that the algorithm can start to pick up my videos and start to share with others. I'll see you again in the next video.